have seen two things from the Trump administration in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death. The first is political exploitation, using this event as an opportunity to expand his authoritarian project and continue to attack marginalized groups. The second thing we've seen from this administration is something they are all too familiar with: a cover-up of the real reason we see the epidemic of gun violence plague this country, and that is because of a policy choice and a policy failure. And, of course, Donald Trump wants to cover up the fact that political violence is disproportionately committed by the right and inspired by his rhetoric. And that was all called out, pointed out, and slammed by Barack Obama in a takedown that we are going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into what President Obama had to say about Donald Trump, I want to start with one of the reasons I refuse to apologize for the entirety of the left, as Donald Trump wants us to, and that is the incompetence of Kash Patel, which was called out by Jasmine Crockett right here.
Man, oh man, there has been so much today, and I truly don't know where to start. So I'm just going to make sure that we start off with a few facts. So a couple of facts that we need to make clear for everyone is that, number one, Director Christopher Wray, when he was appointed to be the head of the FBI, was appointed by Donald Trump. Now, I will agree that I definitely take issue with a number of decisions that Donald Trump makes, especially when it comes to the people that he decides to appoint to very important positions, including this one, because I did have to make sure that I wasn't going crazy. But when I say that you are the least qualified FBI director in the history of the FBI, that is real, because you are the only one that never even served with the FBI prior to joining, yet we are supposed to believe that you are the greatest thing since sliced bread. I didn't ask you a question. Now, what I want to go through is to talk about why you are a failure and why, honestly, we just need to tell you bye-bye. I know.
The reason why I refuse to apologize for some fictitious left-wing rhetoric, which is inspiring hate, that's complete bullshit, is because there has been no meaningful step taken by this administration to right the wrongs of an investigation that was a failure by Kash Patel. You needed to have the alleged assailant's father turn him in, but there's also been no response to the root cause of what happened. What was the root cause? A policy choice. The epidemic of gun violence in this country is a policy choice by the right. In their extreme rhetoric, the hateful bile they spew about trans people, delegitimizing their existence, which is just a complete lie, which is what we see from Nancy Mace, that disgusting attention whore, every single day. That is what contributes to this climate, and that is why I am glad Jared Moskowitz said it to Kash Patel's face.
Before I begin, I want to caution my colleagues on, one-sided violence in this country. We just heard that there were no riots on the right. We're literally sitting in the building where there was a giant riot by supporters of the president, the right. We also heard that only leftists, have said that Trump is a Nazi. In 2016, the current vice president of the United States said, Trump is either a cynical asshole or he's America's Hitler. And so this is the problem. I don't want to have to say this garbage, but you want me to sit here and get painted with one brush, the whole left. No, there are extremes on the left, and there are extremes on the right. And we collectively should tackle that. But to come here and just look at us and say we all support what's going on in the extremes is why we can't solve anything in this building.
The right does not want to have a productive conversation about how we unite the country. The right does not want to engage in good faith in a conversation about gun violence. The right is not mourning Charlie Kirk. They are waking up every morning thinking about how they can exploit this event to give themselves more power, to build out their police state. These are the people who say, don't tread on me, but now the government is marching troops through their cities, through their neighborhoods, throughout our country. They don't care. Nancy Mace says, if you don't praise Charlie Kirk on your Instagram story, we'll fire you and jail you, demanding that journalists speak highly of a man who built a career based on profit above all else on attacking black people and trans people. I have to say he was a good guy and eulogize him. I'm not going to do it. Donald Trump does not actually care. This is a political moment for him, and it's exactly what Barack Obama called out. Obama torches Trump's response to Charlie Kirk's killing. Barack Obama lashed out at Donald Trump for inflaming political tensions in the wake of the shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The former president didn't mention Trump by name, but what left little doubt who he was calling out while speaking at a Jefferson Educational Society event in Erie, Pennsylvania. When I hear not just our current president, but his aides, who have a history of calling political opponents vermin, enemies who need to be targeted, that speaks to a broader problem that we have right now, and something that we're going to have to grapple with, all of us, Obama said. Kirk, one of the most influential figures in the MAGA movement, was shot and killed while speaking at Utah Valley University on September. Obama, who has long been the target of conspiracy theories from Trump and Republicans, also blasted the president for refusing to unify the country after Kirk's killing. Trump specifically told Fox News last week that he couldn't care less about bringing the nation together. Obama said this stance is a direct contrast to other leading GOP figures who he argued would have sought to calm tensions in the wake of such a horrific incident. I think George W. Bush believe that, Obama said. I believe that people who I ran against, I know John McCain believed it, I know Mitt Romney believed it. What I'm describing is not a Democratic value or a Republican value, it is an American value. And I think at moments like this, when tensions are high, then part of the job of the president is to pull people together. Obama also cited how he avoided pointing fingers in the wake of the 2015 mass shooting carried out by a white supremacist who murdered 9 people at a historic black church in South Carolina. As President of the United States, my response was not, who may have influenced this troubled young man to engage in what kind of violence, and now let me go after my political opponents and use that, Obama said. I am glad that we see President Obama speaking out, but I would really love for him to go on the record to say into a camera, Donald Trump is causing violence with the rhetoric he uses and the excuses and encouragement that he gives to his supporters. This is a man who began his administration by pardoning those who went to attack our Capitol and attack our democracy, who beat up cops in the name of Donald Trump's lies. That is how Donald Trump began his term, saying, if you commit violence on my behalf, I've got your back. I would have loved to see President Obama make a direct statement on that and say, do you know what? We are seeing the right disproportionately commit these crimes. Think back about the rhetoric that they used against Barack Obama. What would Charlie Kirk constantly spewed? What would he try to make commonplace and frame as an opinion in political dialogue? That is why I refuse to give in to this eulogizing, because it makes it seem like Charlie Kirk was sharing opinions. He was not. His disgusting attacks on black women, they're eugenics. It's Nazi shit. It's not an opinion. His denying the existence of trans people and their humanity, that is not an opinion. That is bigotry that should be cast out of society. We are all people. That is an American value. Our humanity, our equality is an American value, not the fucking bullshit that Charlie Kirk said to college students who weren't equipped to debate him so that he could make a bunch of bucks off the views he was getting on TikTok. That is what his plan was. He was not energizing the youth into important political discussions. He was trying to radicalize people and create extreme environments online. Push videos in an algorithm that has hurt my generation so deeply. That is what Charlie Kirk was after, for profit. Not for God, not because he was some prophet, but for his personal profit. Let's make that clear. And anyone who can't see that is in a MAGA cult or is in religious psychosis because their pastor told them that Charlie Kirk is a lamb of God, when in fact he could not care less about the actual teachings of the Bible. For as many talking points as he could regurgitate, I don't think he ever said anything about how maybe Jesus wanted people to eat and be loved and be housed. Did you skip over that part, Charlie? Well, clearly he did. And it's why I refuse to engage with people like Kash Patel who claim they care but show nothing for it. And Jasmine Crockett called that out.
Before you can get the FBI fully staffed to do their jobs, you're also now redirecting resources so that they can go and play ICE agents on the streets. You're getting rid of your most qualified people, and even when it came down to somebody that you consider to be a friend, you were posted up having some fancy dinner to the extent that you posted not only once erroneously, you posted twice erroneously as it relates to catching somebody, and then you want to go and say, let me take a victory lap. Because honestly, if it wasn't for parents deciding that they were going to turn in their child, it seems like y'all wouldn't have got there. even though he literally confessed online. So I'm confused about what it is that the FBI is doing, except for trying to put on a show for The Apprentice, or whatever you want to call him.
These people are liars, and they are not good faith actors. They do not care about Americans or our lives. They do not care about us. They don't care about victims. Just listen to Kash Patel trying to desperately defend his boss when confronted by Eric Swalwell on the Epstein list.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Yes or no?
Why don't you try spelling it out?
Yes or no, Director?
Use the alphabet.
Yes or no?
No, A, B, C,
Director,
D, E, F.
it sounds like you don't want to tell us. Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files?
Why don't you try serving your
Director,
constituency
did
by
you tell the
focusing on
Attorney
reducing
General
violent
that Donald
crime in this
Trump's
country and the number of pedophiles that are
Director,
illegally
reclaiming my
harbored
time,
in your
Director.
sanctuary cities in
Director,
California?
reclaiming
I'll
my
work with
time.
you on that. Do
Regular
you want
order,
to work
Mr.
with us
Chairman.
on that?
Director,
I'm
reclaiming
the
my
lawless
time.
gentleman from California.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
Question
Yes or no?
has been asked and answered.
You've not answered it, and we will take your evasiveness as a consciousness of guilt.
They don't care. We have to stop treating them like they do. Let us be honest in understanding that these are not like real honest brokers. Okay? I'm not going to engage with them like they are. We have to stop qualifying everything we say like Republicans want to engage with us. We just have to make things clear. I am certainly going to be doing so on this show, and if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you're stuck around at the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And if you want something to make yourself feel a little bit better, I know these videos are intense. I know I'm sharing with a lot of passion, and I hope that's okay with y'all. We usually try to keep it straight-laced. But if you want something a little bit more chill, a little bit more relaxed, I spoke with Governor Westmore in a fun interview, just throwing the football around, two guys hanging out. I hope you really enjoy it. Keep on fighting. We're not going to let anyone silence us, not even fucking Pam Bondi, especially not Pam Bondi. Until next time, I'll see you soon.